Welcome to the Deep Sea Archives. You are about to listen to the lore of Morgana, the Fallen. Whether through destiny or circumstance, Morgana and her sister were born to a world in conflict. The cataclysmic rune wars had ripped through most of Valoran and Shurima, and seemed poised to engulf even the peaks of Targan. Morgana's parents, Mihira and Killam, knew the legends of the Great Mountain granting divine power. They saw no other choice than to attempt the long and perilous journey if their tribe was to be saved. Even when they learned Mihira was with child, they could not turn back. Finally, where Runeterra touches the stars, Killam watched in wonder and fear as Mihira was chosen to embody the aspect of justice. The couple returned not only with the salvation they sought, but twin daughters, Morgana and Kael. However, the celestial power that claimed Mihira began to overshadow her mortal personality and affections. She would often push the girls into their father's arms, abandoning them to answer battle's call. For many months, uncertainty gnawed at Killam. The war still raged on countless fronts, and his beloved wife was slipping away. Fearing for his daughter's safety, he waited for Mihira to leave once more, then fled Targan with them both. Though their destination did not yet have a name, it would become known as a haven from magic and persecution, the kingdom of Demacia. There the twins grew different as day and night. While Kael studied the settlement's growing set of laws, dark-haired Morgana became troubled by their distrust of new arrivals. Knowing what it was to be a refugee, she wandered the wilds, talking to wayward mages and others cast out for the dangers they might bring. At home, she felt her father's heartbreak at leaving Mihira behind, and grew bitter at her mother for causing such pain. Morgana's fears that she and Kael might carry some remnant of the Aspect's power were eventually confirmed, when a great blade wreathed in shadow and starfire fell from the heavens. As it pierced the ground, splitting in two, feathered wings burst from the girls' shoulders. Their father wept at the sight of them each taking up half of the weapon, and turned away even as Morgana reached out to comfort him. While Kael embraced their new calling, rallying an order of judicators to enforce the laws, Morgana resented her gifts, until the night their settlement was raided. Killam found himself surrounded as the fighting spread. In that moment, Morgana rushed to shield him, burning his attackers to ash. Together, the sisters saved countless lives, and were hailed as the winged protectors of Demacia. But Kael grew more extreme in her ideologies, and Morgana increasingly found herself pleading the case of those who wanted to atone for their crimes. An accord was struck between the sisters and their mortal devotees, though it was uneasy, and did not last. Kael's most ardent disciple, Ronas, came to arrest Morgana herself. Attempting to protect her penitent followers, she shackled him with dark flame until he fell to the floor, dead. Divine fire lit the city from above as Kael swore to bring Rona's killer to justice, and Morgana met her sister in the skies. They raised their blades, each matching the other with arcs of blinding light and burning darkness that lashed down at the buildings beneath them. It seemed certain that one of them would win, but Morgana faltered when she heard their father's anguished voice. Killam lay in the rubble, mortally wounded. Howling with grief, Morgana hurled her half of their mother's sword at Kael, and plunged to the surface like a meteorite. She cradled her father, cursing their inheritance for the destruction around them. Kael landed, dumbstruck, and Morgana demanded to know if the smiting of wicked mortals included Killam, whose crime was stealing them away from their mother. Kael gave no answer, but soared into the heavens without looking back. Morgana's wings became an inescapable reminder of her pain. She tried to cut them from her flesh, but could find no blade strong enough. Instead, she bound them with iron chains, resolving instead to walk the world of mortals. Over the centuries, her tale fell into myth, and the name Morgana was all but forgotten. To this day, the people of Demacia venerate the winged protector, but recall only the glory and truth of one sister, while Morgana's dark outbursts and belief in personal redemption became the mysteries of the Veiled One. Through all of this, she still refuses to abandon those who would seek her aid. Bitter, betrayed, she bides her time in the kingdom's shadows, knowing with certainty that Kael's light will someday return to Runeterra, and all will face her judgment. As magic begins to rise again, Morgana sees that dawn is nearly upon them.